Hey, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about the next update for Starfield. Not only that, but we're also going to be discussing some of the fixes that will be coming along the way. Then not only that, but we're also going to be discussing some of the most broken bugs that have just popped up in the last update. If you're new to the channel or you're possibly stopping by again, feel free to subscribe and turn those notifications on and give this video a like, and let's go ahead and talk about it. We are first going to talk about SteamDB because it just updated recently. Get this, a few things have now updated on the left side for the branches. For example, we have QA staging main debug, QA staging main, mov, and then last but not least dev_tech. If you take a look at the tech part here, this was updated yesterday and I informed you guys in yesterday's video. Now as you can tell, the top three branches have been updated: QA staging main debug, QA staging main, and mov. These three have been updated about 15 hours ago as I'm making this video. Might be different time now, but really, this has been updated recently. When this happened the last time, I informed you guys that there was going to be an update, and what did you know? There was an update. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be another one here coming up soon. Whether or not this is going to be another beta patch, who knows? But as you can tell on the bottom where it says beta, there has nothing there that has been updated as of late, and that branch is locked. Now in the next few days, if this branch updates, that will definitely be a good sign that the beta patch is rolling around once more. Or perhaps there's just going to be a patch that comes out and, they're not going to do a beta patch. Who knows? But as of right now, this is a good sign that another patch is definitely on its way. We are now going to continue on and talk about some of the things that have been updated over at Bethesda.net when it comes down to the bugs and glitches that have been patched. The developers were able to answer a question that was asked over on Bethesda support, which you can see right here. It says, "Why am I unable to re-encounter a legendary ship at the spawn location?" The developers left this comment on the bottom by saying, "We are aware of an issue where encountering a legendary ship, leaving, then returning to its location later will prevent the ship from reappearing. This will be resolved in a future update." Now, this bug right here has been around for quite some time, since day one patch, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. I've experienced this bug for quite some time as well, and what happens is pretty much when you do invade a ship, board it, whatever you want to call it, then you exit out and let's say, hey, you need to drop some items off, or possibly you need to free up some space. When you do this, for example, and you head to Jemison or wherever, and then you travel back to the original location where that ship was, well, what you're going to find out is that it's now invisible. I've had this happen again several times, and it's cool to see that this is going to be fixed in the next update. Moving on towards the next question. Why is the size of my character resetting to a default size whenever I reload my save? If you have been experiencing this problem right here, the developers left this comment on the bottom to help you resolve it. For example, right here, the developers say, "We have received reports of an issue where a character may reset to their default build whenever reloading a save. To work around this issue, players can do the following. Go to an enhanced store, switch your appearance to a different gender, switch back to your original gender. The issue should no longer occur." So this right here, the developers have stated that if you follow those instructions, you can then solve that problem right there, which if I would have known, I probably would have done it, but who cares? I wonder if they're going to fix the issue where you're running and you look to the left constantly. That bug's not huge or a big game-breaking bug, but it can definitely be annoying just like this one. The third question coming up can be found right here, and it says, "Why are events not appearing on the star map?" The developers left this on the bottom by saying, "We are aware of an issue where events like hostile activity, ship, or sensor contract will not appear on the star map after changing your ship. This issue will be resolved in a future update." So what's cool about this post right here is that before it was being investigated, specifically the bug, now it's going to be resolved in the next upcoming update. On the other hand, if you're not aware as to what they're talking about when it comes down to the events, if you open up your star map and you travel to a solar system and then you look around, you should see some icons like a ship icon or a sensor contract icon. These icons or events are supposed to pop up on the map, yet for right now, it's not working properly, but the good news is that it's going to be resolved in the next update. The fourth question coming up can be found right here. What do I do if the mouse cursor is not properly aligned when in shipbuilder mode or placing landing zones in Starfield? The developers left a comment down below by saying, "We are aware of an issue where the mouse cursor may be slightly misaligned for 32:9 monitors when in shipbuilder mode, or placing landing zones. This issue will be resolved in a future update. Okay, for those out here that have those super ultra wide monitors, guess what? That issue right there is going to be resolved, as you can tell. And the good news is that there's not going to be any issues with the mouse, so it's going to be aligned correctly in this next update. Continuing on towards the next question, which can be found right here. Why are ranks 3 and 4 of rejuvenation skill not providing regeneration during combat in Starfield? The developers left this comment down below by saying, "We are aware of an issue where ranks 3 and 4 of rejuvenation skill do not provide health regeneration during combat. This issue will be resolved in a future update." This right here I have talked about in one of my previous videos, but at the time it was being looked into, aka investigated. Yet now what's happening is that it's going to be resolved and fixed in a future update. The next question can be found right here, and it says, "What do I do if the game crashes when I try to load a save on Xbox?" The developers had this to say by stating, "We are investigating reports that some players are experiencing issues with Starfield crashing on Xbox. There is something similar to this that I've seen happen to a few players. What happens is if you leave your game idle, eventually it will kick you out. Pretty much there's nothing that you can do, and most likely if you did not create a save prior, you definitely will be losing a lot of hours." Next, we're going to talk about something a bit different here, because what this next question has to do with is achievements not unlocking on Xbox. There is an exploit or a method that you can do on PC to where you can transfer some of your saves over to Xbox. Yet get this, even if you do this, it's going to stop you from unlocking some achievements even on Xbox. So if you have followed my guide from, I don't know, about a month or two ago where I showed you how to transfer your save to PC, then back to Xbox once you have modified it. If you've done this, I even warn you in the video that this is going to stop you from unlocking your achievements. Even the developers have left a comment down below by saying this right here: "Achievements do not unlock when console commands are enabled. A reboot of the game will typically re-enable achievements." This right here was confirmed by a developer, so pretty much if you use commands on PC then transfer your save back to Xbox, you're not going to be able to unlock achievements. If this is not a big deal to you, then I guess we can just move on to the next question. And last but not least, I do want to talk about this question right here that I have brought up in a prior video, but I've been asked quite a lot as of late. Is ECS constant fixed? No, it is not going to be fixed in a future update, but they are looking into it. For example, right here, the developers have said, quote, "We have received reports from players that the ECS constant is missing when trying to complete related missions. In the meantime, try leaving the area of the mission, then returning. If the above does not resolve it, please see yada yada yada," right? All that information. So pretty much what we're seeing right here is not a fix just yet for the ECS constant. This will eventually be resolved, but here's the problem. There are probably other bugs out there that are set at a higher priority, and they're probably looking into those ones first. For example, there are missing items within the penthouses or your apartment. There's cargo link issues and even robot issues. Not to mention there are problems where you may lose some of your crew members, and on top of that, there are some bigger problems with the main missions. I'm sure they're looking into those problems first before they head over to some other things, right? It would only make sense. So again, this will eventually be fixed, but I'm sure there are other things set at a higher priority. Let's go on and move on towards some of the things that have popped up recently when it comes down to bugs. For example, this Reddit user named gingerbread_man06 had this to say right here, quote, "Anyone else have an issue with the game restarting literally every day? I would play it more often if it didn't randomly glitch and bring me back to the Xbox homepage." If you can recall a question that I went over a few minutes ago where it had to do with games crashing on Xbox, well guess what? It's all because of this problem right here. Try not to stay idle for too long or AFK for too long, because what can happen is, again, it will kick you out. Moving on towards the next post that had an interesting bug, which has to do with the digipick. This Reddit user named KinoBit_Alex had this to say right here, quote, "Found a bug with digipick. Don't open character menu when a digipick animation isn't finished. Teleport doesn't help. The only game restarts." What you can see right here obviously is that the player has the digipick in their hand and they're able to just walk around with it, which is kind of strange. I'm not too sure how game breaking this is, but if you're currently stuck like that and frozen to that position, well, that's going to be pretty bad, right? So hopefully this will be resolved in the next update. Of course, there are some other things that have popped up, including the workbench bug. Anyways, moving on towards the next bug. This Reddit user named Xander Macer had this to say right here. Quote, "I am suddenly experiencing a bug where any headwear I equipped is not visible. such as the helmet, baseball cap, or neurocoms. There is something quite similar to this. Apparently what's going on right now with another bug is that you're not able to equip any of your helmets. For example, if you equip your helmet, it's not going to pop up like this. So possibly it is quite similar to this, I honestly couldn't tell you, but it does look like there are some textures still on there. For example, you can see that there is some light on both left and right sides, so I would assume the texture is still there, it's just missing. Then moving on towards the next bug, which can be found right here, quote, game-breaking bug at the end of anything money can buy mission on Xbox. Anyone got a solution, end quote. This right here was mentioned by a Reddit user named Keefy Fingas, and then on the bottom, he had this to say right here, quote, at the end of anything money can buy mission, part of the main quest line, there's a final dialogue you have with Walter that freezes up after. Now this one right here has been around for quite some time because the anything that money can buy mission is seriously messed up. There's something going on with that mission that's currently bugged and it's still going on as of today. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about the Swan mission because currently it's bugged right now to where the ship is merged in between the ground. This is a terrible bug to come across, but thankfully it is a faction or a side quest, so it's not a big deal if it's broken. Yet on the other hand, if you're a completionist or someone that really wants to complete this quest, then you might be disappointed to know that. Anyways, this is the end of the video. If you have any questions, comment right now because I will be answering those comments within the first hour. With that information to the side, I genuinely want to say I appreciate everyone that supports the channel right now because it means a lot to me. I'm going through a rough time. And so with all the support, it means a lot to me. And with that being said, thank you guys so much. I love you guys, appreciate all the support, and I'll see you all in the next video.